Welcome to this week's event on Founder Freedom. My name is Scott Kokenauer, and I'll be your host today. Over the past week, I've been curating some of the best thinking for you, and I'm eager to share what I've brought together as well as some of my original thinking. These Tuesday events are for founders, business owners, majority share owners, or those who work with them, such as financial advisors, CPAs, legal counsel, suppliers, coaches, etc. If you're interested in knowing more about building a valuable business that will give you more time and more options, and if you're interested in knowing more about building a valuable business so you can sell it one day, these Tuesday events are for you. This event is my product or is a product of my research on what I believe is some of the best thinking out there. Any sources I reference will be in the show notes for you to look up further. So let's get started. In the construction industry, it's been long standard practice, backed up by modern regulations, to ensure that every building, floor, or structure where people will be living or spending any amount of time has at least two doors, preferably on opposite ends of the space. Now, why is this? It's because if anything happens inside the building that requires the occupants to leave quickly, there needs to be an adequate number of exits available. And if something like a fire or other damage makes it impossible to get out one way, or there needs to be another exit available for people to use. When you picture yourself in that room or building, having multiple available exits is not just a matter of convenience. It's a matter of safety and common sense too. So the same principle applies to owning and running a business. Establishing an exit strategy, a plan for eventually leaving or selling the business, is a common sense part of smart entrepreneurship. And it lends a sense of safety and peace of mind to what is inherently a risky proposition. I had a founder say to me the other day, "Thanks, Scott, but I'm nowhere near an exit strategy. I will reach out when that is." Now, I appreciate that comment. This is a normal reaction when I approach a founder with the idea of starting their exit strategy, especially when they've only been into their efforts a couple of years. But an exit strategy isn't just for those who want out. It's for those who want a strong organization. The steps to creating an exit strategy are steps that will also make your organization more valuable, giving you greater options. So, what does an exit strategy involve, and why is it necessary for every business owner? Every exit strategy is going to incorporate an appropriate combination of the following elements with minor variations for unique circumstances. First of all, goals. What do you, the owner, want and need to get out of the business when you leave? Is it primarily a matter of profit, or are you eager to leave your mark? Second, time frame. When do you want or need to complete the sale? If the time frame is flexible, it puts you in a much better negotiating position. If it's tight, options and potential are limited. What are your intentions for the business? Do you expect to see the business continue indefinitely after you leave, or are you comfortable with seeing it dissolve? This important factor will help determine if the business is to be sold, merged with another business, set up for transition through succession planning, or simply liquidated. And then finally, what's next? Do you want to take proceeds from a sale of the business to fund another adventure or your retirement? Or are you only interested in breaking even and getting out? A well thought out exit plan must address all these elements as specifically and concretely as possible. Otherwise, it becomes nothing more than a vague wish list rather than a vital part of the business plan. Now, why is an exit strategy important for every business? First of all, It provides a blueprint for success. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never know when you get there. An exit strategy helps define success and provides a timetable for charting your progress. Secondly, an exit strategy informs strategic decision making. With no planned end game, it's easy for you to get caught up more in the job you've given yourself rather than the long-term strategy behind running the business itself. An exit strategy keeps that end game in view and can make day-to-day decisions more strategic in nature. Third, an exit strategy enhances the value of the business. Value is a relative term, so this doesn't necessarily mean having an exit strategy will make a business worth more when it's finally acquired or sold. Rather, having an exit strategy enhances the company's value to you, the current owner, since you will be guiding it toward your own predetermined preferred conclusion. Next, an exit strategy provides a flexible template. While the initial exit strategy will likely need to be adjusted over time as circumstances change, if it's there from the start, it provides guidance and benchmarks to use should unexpected events occur. For instance, a sudden death, a divorce, major health problem, or required relocation. These are all causes of unexpected early departure from business. If the exit strategy is already in place, you or your estate can more quickly and efficiently move forward without losing tremendous value. And today, most business brokers and advisors recommend incorporating a thorough exit strategy into the business plan from the very start. While it may seem counterintuitive to plan on starting your or buying a business and simultaneously planning how you're going to sell or remove yourself from it, this is really the smartest plan in today's fast-moving post-pandemic economy. So, what types of exit strategies are out there? Whether you're writing your business plan for the first time or updating it, take a look at these types of exit strategies. Remember to weigh the pros and cons of each to determine if it's feasible. First is the merger. In a merger, two businesses combine into one. Mergers increase your business's value, which is why investors tend to like them. To go through with a merger, you still need to be part of the business. Through a merger, you will be an owner or manager of the new business. Your employees might be employed by the new merged business, but if you want to sever your ties with your business, a merger is not the best exit strategy for you. Now, speaking of mergers, there are 5 types of mergers. The first type is the horizontal merger, where both businesses are in the same industry. The next is the vertical. Vertical mergers are where both businesses are part of the same supply chain. The third is a conglomerate. This is where the two businesses have nothing in common. Market extension is another type of merger. The businesses sell the same products but compete in different markets. And then there's the product extension. Both businesses' products go well together. Now, before you merge businesses, make sure that the new business is a good fit with your current one. Otherwise, you could end up losing revenue in the process. So, merger is one type. The second type is acquisition. An acquisition is when a company buys another business. With an acquisition exit strategy, you give up ownership of your business to the company that buys it from you. One of the positives of going with an acquisition is that you get to name your price. A business might be apt to pay a higher price than the actual value of your business, especially if they're a competitor. But if you're not ready to let go of your business, an acquisition might not be the right exit strategy for you. You may need to sign a non-compete agreement promising not to work for or start a new business similar to one you just sold. There are two types of acquisitions: friendly and hostile. If you have a friendly acquisition, you agree to be acquired by a larger business. However, a hostile acquisition means that you do not agree. The acquiring business purchases stakes to the complete to complete the acquisition. If an acquisition is your exit strategy, your acquisition should be friendly. You likely will attempt to find an acquiring business that you want to sell to. Sell to someone else you know. You may want to see your business live under someone else's ownership. In many cases, you can sell to someone you know as an exit strategy. Take a look at some of the people you could sell your business to. Perhaps it's a family member, a child, or an uncle, a friend, an employee, a business colleague, customer. Now, before selling your business to someone you know or are acquainted with, consider the drawbacks. You don't want to jeopardize personal relationships over your business. Disclose things like liabilities and the probability of your business before a family, friend, or acquaintance buys it from you. 4, an initial public offering, or IPO. This is the first sale of a business's stocks to the public. This is also known as going public. Unlike a private business, a public business gives up part of their ownership to stockholders from the general public. Public businesses tend to be larger. They also generally go through a high growth period. By taking your business public, you can secure more funds to help pay off debt. However, going public might be difficult for some small businesses because it costs a significant amount of time and money. If you want a fast exit strategy, an IPO might not be the way to go. To start an IPO, you need to find an investment bank, collect financial information, register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and come up with a stock price. The next is liquidation, another exit strategy for small business. With liquidation, business operations end and your assets are sold. The liquidation value of your assets go to creditors and investors. However, your creditors, not your investors, get first dibs. Liquidation is a clear-cut exit strategy because you don't need to negotiate or merge your business. Your business stops, your assets go to the people you owe money to, and that's it. If you liquidate your business, however, you lose your business concept, your reputation, and your customers. Your business will not live on like in other exit strategy options. Okay, so when is the best time to exit your business? I found an article that was addressed 6 signs that you might be ready to exit your business. They come from the Skidmore Group. Signs that you might be ready to exit your business. The first sign is your gut or your trusted friends are telling you. Beyond any warning signs, you may have a gut feeling. Don't ignore what your instincts tell you. No one knows your work environment or yourself better than you do. If you get the sense that you're ready to move on, heed that inner voice and go exploring. Make it a habit to check in with yourself or with a trusted friend at least twice a year. Not only is it a good opportunity to review your wins and your accomplishments, but it is also a chance to stop and look around you. You never know what you might see when you come up for air. The second sign is you're ready for retirement and or you require liquidity. The clearest signal that you're ready to leave your business is that you've reached retirement age and require more liquidity to live comfortably for your intended lifestyle. In some cases, you may find that your business responsibilities are affecting your health, which means a serious inventory of your priorities, your needs to take place. Health and family should always come first, especially as you reach retirement. A third sign is that Economic freedom is no longer there. Most business owners aim for economic independence when taking their leap into the environmental or entrepreneurial world. However, starting your own adventure often means leaving the security of a salary behind for financial uncertainty. To manifest their vision, entrepreneurs often go through financial highs and lows. Many put forth their own life savings and personal funds behind their vision. Between number crunching and loans, you may find that you need to seek outside investment, whether it's for assets, expansion, or new hires. You may be able to partner with someone that has those resources in a relationship based on revenue sharing. In other cases, you may want to an external investor who brings in the capital, but also serves as a mentor and connects your business to new opportunities or possibilities in order to propel the company forward. The next sign is that the challenge of the startup has diminished. Some business owners are referred to as serial entrepreneurs. This subset of entrepreneurs finds thrill and excitement in launching new ventures. Serial entrepreneurs are driven to scale a business from startup phase to sustainable growth trajectories. They're excited by the challenge of building a business from the ground up and often want to move on to the next project once they've accomplished their goal. If you relate to any of these characteristics, you may be one of the few who is on the road to becoming a serial entrepreneur, starting by exiting your current project. Another sign is your mind is focused on a new project. Entrepreneurs or business owners are always curious, usually about how they can evolve their own business, but often about new projects, new ideas, and new ventures. You'll find yourself reading papers, studies, or books which give you new ideas for your next project. If you find that you can't stop thinking about what you want to do next or already have a new venture in the works, it could be time to exit your business in some capacity. If your business is revenue positive, you can likely sell your business to an outside party to continue its trajectory. And finally, the sixth sign is that you have wide gaps. Now, what do I mean by wide gaps? Well, many business owners hold on to projects that exhaust them personally and deplete their resources. Sometimes this may lead you to cut your losses and abandon your business altogether. Sometimes you recognize that you do not have the necessary skill set or necessary capital to take your business to its full potential. Once you come to this realization, you may seek a new management team or external investor to bring in the necessary resources to fill in the gaps and transform the business for success. So, what are your thoughts? Where are you on your entrepreneurial journey? If you're listening and you serve founders who do know they need an exit strategy, remember, exit strategies enhance the value of their organization, and a more valuable client to you enhances your value as a support partner. So before we take off, I want to show a portion of a TED video by Tim Urban, and the topic is Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator. It's a fascinating talk, really. We'll jump to the last portion of the video. As you listen to Tim talk, think about your life and your lifetime. Think about where you are and whether or not an exit strategy is something you need to work on sooner rather than later. Ask yourself, am I procrastinating on the creation of my exit strategy? Listen.
Turns out that there's two kinds of procrastination. Everything I've talked about today, the examples I've given, they all have deadlines. And when there's deadlines, the effects of procrastination are contained. to the short term because the panic monster gets involved. But there's a second kind of procrastination that happens in situations when there is no deadline. So if you want to have a career where you want to be a self-starter, something in the arts, something entrepreneurial, there's no deadlines on those things at first because nothing's happening at first, not until you've gone out and done the hard work to get some momentum, to get things going. There's also all kinds of important things outside of your career that don't involve any deadlines, like seeing your family or exercising and taking care of your health, working on your relationship or getting out of a relationship that isn't working. Now, if procrastinator's only mechanism of doing these hard things is the panic monster, that's a problem because in all of these non-deadline situations, the panic monster doesn't show up. He has nothing to wake up for. So the effects of procrastination, they're not contained. They just extend outward forever. And it's this long-term kind of procrastination that's much less visible and much less talked about than the funnier, short-term, deadline-based kind. It's usually suffered quietly and privately, and it can be the source of a huge amount of long-term unhappiness and regrets. And I thought, that's why these people are emailing, and that's why they're in such a bad place. It's not that they're cramming for some project. It's that long-term procrastination has made them feel like a spectator at times in their own lives. The frustration was not that they couldn't achieve their dreams, it's that they weren't even able to start chasing them. So I read these emails and I had a little bit of an epiphany that I don't think non-procrastinators exist. That's right. I think all of you are procrastinators. Now, you might not all be a mess, like some of us. And some of you may have a healthy relationship with deadlines. But remember, the monkey's sneakiest trick is when the deadlines aren't there. Now, I want to show you one last thing. I call this a life calendar. That's one box for every week of a 90-year life. That's not that many boxes, especially since we've already used a bunch of those. So I think we need to all take a long, hard look at that calendar. And we need to think about what we're really procrastinating on, because everyone is procrastinating on something in life. We need to stay aware of the instant gratification monkey. That's a job for all of us. And because there's not that many boxes on there, it's a job that should probably start today. Well, maybe not today, but sometime soon.
So, as I mentioned, the sources I cite will be in the show notes of today's curated information. Now, that concludes this week's episode. Thank you for sharing your valuable time. If you'd like to subscribe and receive more information on the topics I'm researching, how I actually do the research, and conversations with real founders adding real value to their organizations, subscribe today. Just go to servingstrong.com/join. There's no fluff, no spam, no selling emails, just honest and helpful information for you when you need it. I'll see you right here next Tuesday at noon Eastern.